Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Versus on the World According to Briggs. Tonight we have 6 rounds of competition between 2 heavyweights. In the red corner you have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with 1.5 million residents and 6 million in the greater metro area. And in the blue corner we have Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with 305,000 residents and 2.3 million in the metro area.
Versus videos are videos that compare 2 locations to see which one's better. Doesn't matter who you are or where you live, there's going to be some rivalry with another place. It could be a country, a state, a county, a city, or a town. Hell, I'm sure at some point some homeless person in a homeless camp talks some trash about some other homeless camp down the road. It's just how humans are. We do it and we want to know about it. So let's embrace this dark side of human nature and watch this video about Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. Round 1. Crime. Like most major cities, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia have some challenges when it comes to crime. Before I get into the negative numbers, I did find one spark of hope for each. Since 2017, crime is down about 4% in each city, so that's good. And now the bad stuff. Pittsburgh is only safer than 12% of the cities in the country and carries a crime rate that is currently 37% higher than the national average. Now, Philadelphia is only safer than 6% of the cities in the United States and has a crime rate that is 46% higher than the national average. And stop typing. Both cities are trending with lower crime rates, so next year these numbers may be off. Don't leave some comment telling me I'm wrong because it's much lower. Look at the upload date. The winner here is definitely Pittsburgh. First round goes to Pittsburgh. Round 2. Schools. When it comes to schools and education, this one really isn't fair. Philly has twice as many schools and it's harder to manage. I understand that. If the schools were, let's say, graded like Pittsburgh having a B and Philadelphia having a B- grade, I would consider that a draw. Yeah, that ain't what's happening here. Pittsburgh schools are graded a C. There is a total of 185 public schools, 117 private schools, and 41 post-secondary schools in Pittsburgh. The average student-to-teacher ratio is 14:1. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, an average of 87.5 of the students have completed 8th grade, and an average of 86.9 have completed high school. Now, on the other side of the state, Philly gets a big fat F. I think if there was an F-, they would get that. There's a total of 314 public schools, 148 private schools, and 60 post-secondary schools in Philadelphia. The average student-to-teacher ratio is 18:1 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. An average of 79 of the students have completed 8th grade, and an average of 78.5 have completed high school. On top of that, they have some extremely dangerous schools. They have one that's actually got a very misleading name. It's called Strawberry Mansion. Strawberry Mansion is a public high school in North Philly. It consistently makes the most dangerous school lists in Pennsylvania and the country. Inside Strawberry Mansion, there's 94 security cameras, 6 school police officers on campus at all time, 2 metal detectors. These kids have to pass through metal detectors just to get an F- in history. This round, easily, Pittsburgh's the winner. Round 3. Commute. Commute time is always a factor when grading a city. When people are researching moving to a city, that's one of the first stats they look at, and it's right behind, is the city pet friendly? Not even kidding on that one. I don't get it. But they also look up how good are the tacos, which that one I totally get. This is another one on the list that has a clear winner. Philadelphia has 4 stretches of road on the deadliest roads in Pennsylvania list. Broad Street, the Delaware Expressway, the Schuylkill Expressway, and Roosevelt Boulevard. Roosevelt Boulevard also being the absolute deadliest one in the state. Pittsburgh only has one on that list, and that's the Ohio River Boulevard. Pittsburgh has a 24-minute commute time, that's the average, and Philadelphia has a 33.5-minute commute time. Clear winner, Pittsburgh. Round 4. Reputation and pop culture. Reputation and pop culture is always a good one. Both of these cities have some amazing history and things they're known for. Pittsburgh is known as a steel town. Pitt was like the center of the steel producing universe for most of the 20th century. They even named their football team the Steelers. They also have the Penguins in hockey and the Pirates in baseball. One thing I like about Pittsburgh sports is all 3 of their major sports teams share the same color, black and yellow. Kind of like a high school team would, I think that's pretty cool. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was created in Pittsburgh and that's where Mr. Rogers died in 2003. More than 2,700 people attended his memorial at Heinz Hall. Philadelphia, on the other hand, is home to more American history than almost any other city in the country. They have major league teams in every sport, including probably the most famous sports mascot in any sports, the Philly Fanatic. They also have cheesesteak sandwiches that everyone on the planet should try, unless you're like Mr. Rogers and you're vegetarian, then don't try them because they have steak in them, which is meat. They have cheese and bell pepper and onion and a lot of cheese. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. They're amazing. Try it. They have a show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is for the most part filmed in Philly, and some of it's filmed in LA. Stop typing. Fat Albert's from Philly. The cartoon is supposed to be him in Philly, and then they did a movie that was filmed there too. That's pretty cool. And the knockdown punch for this round, Rocky, is from Philly. Round 5. Economy and jobs. This is another tale of two very different cities. When it comes to how good the population in Pittsburgh is living, it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's definitely not a bad city. Considering that the industries that made this city what it is, steel and electronics, fizzled some years back, they did a good job of keeping it together. They transitioned to healthcare and higher techs like robotics. Just to name a couple of them. The income per capita in Pittsburgh is only 2% lower than the national average. The poverty level in Pittsburgh is 47% higher than the national average, which 47% is not terrible. I've seen some that are like 142% above the national average. 47 is not bad. Now, Philadelphia is a big financial, information technologies, and energy type of town. That's just to name a few again. They lead the country in millennial growth, which is kind of cool. The downside is most of the population is undereducated for the industries that they have. The income per capita is 21% lower than the national average, and the poverty level in Philadelphia is 71% higher than the national average. That's not a good number. Again, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not good. Round 5 definitely goes to Pittsburgh. Round 6. The poll. 270 people voted on this poll, and it was kind of close. Now, I also had a few comments, as I always do after the poll. Anna Gramp 56 said, "Been to both. I like Pittsburgh. They should give Philly to New Jersey." Thought that was interesting. Camden, New Jersey, probably the worst city in the country, is right across the river from Philadelphia. Actually, it's right across one of the worst bridges I've ever been on. Last, middle, and first said, "Briggs, you're old. Go golf like all the other old dudes. Philly has the Eagles. That is all." Okay? Dude, what's your deal? Anyway, Katie Millette, I believe it's pronounced Millette. It's got a bunch of weird letters. I think it's French. Anyway, she said, "Philly is far better. Pittsburgh has no music scene, no food scene, and guys still have mullets." Yeah, I'd vote against Pittsburgh for the mullet thing alone. Anyway, the winner in this one is Philly, with 57% of the vote saying that Philly is far better than Pittsburgh, which that brings a grand total of 4 for Pittsburgh and 2 rounds to Philly. So the winner of this one is Pittsburgh. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's another one of these inverses. We're still feeling our way through these, I'll have them kind of nailed down here after a couple more. Anyway, I hope you guys got some information out of it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to have another poll at the end of this one. Don't forget to vote on it and leave me a comment about your vote. I'd love to read it on the next one. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.